I've teased it for quite a while now, but do you know what? It's time for a big announcement. Hello everybody and welcome to this exciting announcement video. If this does happen to be the first video you've seen by me, then my name's Richard and I'm a freight train driver and former passenger train driver based in the southeast of England. I'm also a father to 4 wonderful children, which is where the Dad Rail name comes from. Sort of. Talking of the Dad Rail name, that brings me on quite nicely to the big announcement. No, we're not changing the name of the channel. But those of you who have been following me for a few years now will know the reason this channel is called Dad Rail is because when I started it back in 2016, I planned to build a model railway layout involving my children in various aspects of it, and we were going to document the whole process and upload it to the channel, hence the name Dad Rail. It kind of worked. Unfortunately, as does normally happen, real life got in the way. The model railway layout never got built, and I decided to start using the channel for other things. Hi guys, Richard here from Dad Rail and welcome to the first ever Dad Rail video. And today we've come here to the city of Brighton to check out Model World 2016. We've had a lot of train sim content, train driver vlogs, train driver on tour videos and bits and bobs, and I've really enjoyed doing that. And indeed, train driver on tour videos, I'm going to be doing a lot more of those this year, visiting heritage railways and bits and bobs like that. And the train sim content is absolutely going to stay, the live streams, that is not going to go away. But big announcement, we are reviving, if you haven't guessed from my social media channels, we are reviving the idea of the Dad Rail model railway layout. And I am very, very excited to do this. I've got some absolutely brilliant ideas for how this is going to work. So the purpose of this video is to go through the overarching plan and the objectives of building this model railway layout. Now I'm fully aware that plans do change. This is a dynamic plan, this is flowing. It is subject to change. Some of the ideas and concepts that I've got might not work. But we do have an absolutely thriving community here on Dad Rail in the Discord channel and on the YouTube channel. So I'm hoping that the community are going to come together and are going to get behind this project and really support it. I've got a sort of rough track plan in mind, and I'm going to publish that in a future video. There's going to be sort of a few planning videos on this, and we're going to be testing some of the concepts. Some of the things that I want to do are a little bit alien to me, shall we say. So my history in model railways is, as a boy, I had a model railway. I'd modelled N-Gauge, I modelled 00. I was a member of the Eastbourne Model Railway Society back in the day, exhibited a few times with them. But I've got absolutely no experience in DCC. When I was modelling, DCC wasn't a thing. Everything was analogue, isolation switches on track sections. Oh, you don't know the pain if you've never done it. But wiring it all in and stuff like that was really, really good fun. I like to think I'm quite competent with wiring, and I'm quite good at learning new skills. So for me, this is almost like starting from the beginning and learning everything as I go along, and I'm really looking forward to documenting that and taking advice from you guys. So I've got a bit of a track plan worked out. I'm not going to share that just yet, but I want to go through the kind of key things that I'm looking to get out of this model railway layout. So I've been to a few exhibitions lately. I've been to Worley, rest in peace Worley. That's a shame that that's going, but we do have Model Live at the NEC coming up. I've been for a trip up to Hornby. That was I'll let you form your own opinions about that. And of course I've visited Miniature Wonderland a couple of times. You'll find some videos of that on the channel. So I've kind of got a little bit of inspiration from different angles going on. So the key things that I want to go through on this video about the layout, the key kind of objectives and aims of the model railway layout is realism, but an element of Rule 1. Now, Rule 1, if you're not aware, is basically modeller's license. It's my layout, it's my way. But I do sort of want an element of realism in there. For example, I'm not planning on the layout having any overhead line equipment. That's not going to be a thing. So all the traction on there is going to have to be diesel. For me, the line in terms of realism and modeller's license is if it's an electric train running on a line with no overhead line equipment, that kind of wouldn't happen. So that's kind of past the boundaries for me. But, you know, can we run a train that necessarily wouldn't run in that area? Can we kind of bend the truth a little bit? Can we most of the time there's an example of things happening in the real world. Can we bend the truth? Can we kind of say that, oh yeah, this train was on delivery there was a rail tour happening here, this was happening there. So there is going to be an element of Rule 1 going on, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of, but it could happen, but I do want to keep that element of realism in there. For example, do we want Stephenson's rocket running around next to an LNER Azuma? Potentially, if we've got a model, a railway museum next to it, but generally speaking, that's kind of where the line is with Rule 1. The second point that I'm looking for is interest. How do we make this model railway interesting? What are the elements that make a railway layout interesting? So that's something we're going to talk about in future videos. The other thing, so I should probably point out as well, this is going to be an exhibition layout. The plan is this is going to be 16 foot by 4 foot. This is going to be an exhibition layout, and that's quite important for reasons that will become clear later on in the video. So one of my biggest gripes when I go to exhibitions is movement on layouts. You can have an absolutely beautiful layout, but there's not much movement happening on it. There's not many train movements happening on it. So one of the things I want to make sure we've absolutely nailed down in this layout is making sure we've got lots and lots of movement, lots and lots of train movements going on. So to that end, there will be an element of automation on this layout, but it's not going to be computer controlled. It's going to be controlled using, I've got one here for example purposes. This is how well prepared I am for this video, guys. I've lost it. The automation is going to be controlled using Arduino boards. So we're going to have automatic operation of trains as well as manual operation of trains to try and keep things moving the whole time. The other thing I want to do is interaction. I want some element of interaction on this layout. So if you go to Miniature Wonderland, they have a lot of push button actions on the front of the layout. So you press a button, something happens on the layout. Maybe we could have a funfair scene and the funfair turns on, or a light turns on somewhere, or an announcement plays or something like that. So I definitely want an element of interaction for the public. The other really big key thing with this layout is going to be involvement, and it's about you guys. It's about community involvement. So although I'm building this layout, it's going to be built here in my living room and stored at an undisclosed location. I do have planning permission from my wife, but it has cost me lots of chocolates. Thank you very much, Danny, Mrs. Mumrail, if you're watching. Yeah, it's going to be how we can get the community involved in this project. So there is going to be a lot going on the Discord server. If you're not in the Discord server, or you don't do Discord, or if you've never heard of Discord, there is a link in the description below. Click on that, follow it through. We've got a lot of friendly people in there that will help you get started. And some of the things we're going to be looking for is certainly inspiration from people within the Discord community, and I'm going to be looking for involvement where I can. I'm going to be looking for people with layouts who want to be involved, to possibly let me feature them on the channel, to give me some input, some pointers. But more importantly, I want an element of physical involvement in this project as well. So I'm going to be giving people the opportunity throughout the project to obviously naming certain things, choice on billboards, custom billboards, that sort of thing. We can do things like that. But what I want is to actually sort of have elements of the layout which are built by the community. So we could have elements of like 30 centimetre by 30 centimetre real estate on the layout. And I sort of say to members of the community, this area is for you. And I asked members of the community to build models to go in that particular section with some way of sort of interchanging them out. So we could have like a market scene. Northern Princess Productions, Emily, who's fantastic, suggested a market scene in the station car park where people can build the market scenes and we can swap them in and out. The other thing with involvement is this being an exhibition layout and this being largely a community layout. I want to give people the opportunity to come along to exhibitions and operate this thing and run their own stock on this thing, subject to the first point. I will emphasise that. Not kind of a just turn up and go. We do need to have a bit of an ordered system to that. But if people are interested, I want to sort of say, right, this week we're going to be exhibiting in, I don't know, X, Y, and Z. If you're local and you want to come along for a couple of hours, I'll be really privileged to have you on the layout operating it with me for a couple of hours. And absolutely bring your own stock along as well, which would be brilliant. The other key thing for me on this, and one of the really important points, is accessibility. And as many of you know, my youngest son, Sammy, is non-verbal autistic. I've spoken about him a lot on the channel. We've done the Children in Need 24-hour live stream, which was inspired by him. And accessibility is really important. I I want to make this layout and the project accessible to people, and that could be things such as what height do we put the layout at? Is it low enough so wheelchair users can see it? You know, can we have steps at the front of it so children can step up and see it? Can we have maybe a low line perspex barrier along it so little hands can't get to it but they can still enjoy it to its fullest? And kind of working out exactly how it's going to be made accessible to everybody. That is a really important key point to this. So in terms of timescale, I'm expecting the baseboards to go down probably around midsummer this year. But a lot of the concepts that I'm going to use, which I am going to talk about in future videos, are new concepts to me, and I've not seen anyone else do them anywhere else in the kind of the model railway world. I mean, possibly there is, I've just not come across it. So there's a lot of things that are going to have to be trialed and tested. So the next few videos are going to be about going through those. So what are we modelling? Where are we modelling it? What's it going to be? So what we know so far is it's going to be a 16 foot by 4 foot exhibition layout. It may be a little bit more than 4 foot at the ends to allow for the radius of curves to go around because we want a slightly wider radius. It's going to be an end-to-end layout with a fiddle yard at the back. So you will be able to have continuous loop running, but the fiddle yard will be at the back with the scenic area at the front. Track plan will be shared in a future video. So that is kind of what we're modelling. In terms of era, I've got some example rolling stock here. I've got, and location, TransPennine Express 68 Dapol. This is what I was talking about, community involvement. This is not my locomotive. Emily, Northern Princess Productions, has very kindly lent me this to go on the layout. Thank you very much, Emily, but I am going to buy it off you. Even if you're not selling it, I'm buying it off you. Class 68 TransPennine Express. We have also got Bachmann Class 70 Freightliner. I think I'm giving the era away quite nicely here. We have got Bachmann 37. All these are DCC sound fitted as well, guys. That is going to be one of the things on the layout is DCC sound. And my favourite model at the moment, which is the Cavlax Class 56. This is an absolute beast of a model. I am going to start doing some review videos and bits and bobs as well as we go along. The idea is the layout is based somewhere in the northeast, just off of the East Coast main line. So principal traction is going to be TransPennine Express, a Nova set. So I know they've been discontinued, but rule one, we can have a little bit of modeller's license. We're going to have Cross Country Voyagers running on it, LNER Azumas. I want to get the GA Flirt when that comes out, because that's a really nice model. That kind of runs up the East Coast as far as Peterborough. And obviously the TransPennine Express doesn't start coming into York Leeds. So there's a little bit of modeller's license, but we're kind of in the general area. Pacers 142s, there's a really nice Revolution. I think it's Rail. Yeah, I can't remember the company. They've got a really nice Pacer coming out. In terms of freight as well, Freightliner will be represented. Colas will be represented if you've in there. I've got a DCR Class 60 on order. I've got an Acura Scale GBRF 66 on order. So it's going to be current era. It's going to be sort of northeasty Midlands, kind of that sort of region going on there as well. So as it stands at the moment, I'm going to open up the channel on the Discord server to start a bit of discussion on this. If you're not in the Discord server, like I say, do check out the link in the description below. I'm hoping to put up a video. I'm really bad with doing videos, as you know, but I'm hoping to do a video every couple of weeks, just kind of going through the progress and taking some of your ideas on board and sort of seeing where we're going with it. That is the big announcement as it stands. The Dadrail model railway layout, yet to be named, exhibition layout that hopefully in 2 years, 2 and a bit years, we'll be out there touring. You'll be able to come along. You know, I influenced that bit. I've seen that bit being built. I want this to be... There's a lot of YouTubers that do model railway layouts, and some of them are absolutely brilliant. And I can't think of... Wardle Road I follow. Is it Brook Street? I think I follow as well. Junction Road, I want to say. There's about half a dozen that I follow on YouTube, but the names have escaped me. Most of those layouts are sort of in people's houses, so you never get to see them. The great thing with this, it is going to be out there. It is going to be an exhibition layout. You are going to be able to come along and physically see this. You're going to be able to get involved with the operation of it if you want to. And it's just going to be a really sort of nice community project. And the great thing about this is we can go back to the old Dadrail slogan, which is create, share, and inspire. And that is absolutely what this project is about. Let's create something, together. Let's share it with the world, and let's inspire the next generation, not just of railway modelers, but the next generation of railway enthusiasts, building models, coming into the industry, working in the industry. Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to doing this. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.